Brenda Karagiannis with respect to Chair of the Business Development Advisory Board and the effects of recent negative publicity on economic development. Welcome, Ms. Karagiannis.
Thank you. Good afternoon, Your Worship and members of Council. My name is Brenda Karagiannis, and I am the Chair of the Business Development Advisory Board. Joining me today is our Vice Chair, Dennis Moyes, over here, and Board Member Randy Burke. Thank you for the opportunity to present the views of your Business Development Advisory Board in respect to, of the importance of the business community's perception of the City of Kawartha Lakes as being open and ready for business. As a board, we would like to express our grave concern regarding the negative impact that recent legal action taken against the City is having on the greater business community of Southern Ontario. This concern surrounds both our and your efforts to bring new businesses into our city. The Business Development Advisory Board requests Council to do all that it can to see that these legal matters are dealt with in an expedient manner so as not to further negatively impact the potential of other businesses looking at our city as a place they would like to call home. In addition, we suggest that Council consider making an effort to counter the current negative sentiment that exists outside our city, perhaps through a media blitz and other means to show that there are positive things happening in the City of Kawartha Lakes. It's the view of your Business Development Advisory Board that ultimately a sustained or improved quality of life in the City of Kawartha Lakes depends upon our ability to compete successfully with other cities and to provide the necessary foundations for economic growth. The City must send a clear message to investors, developers, and new and existing businesses that we are truly open for business, and we are ready to support business growth and expansion. Thank you.
Thank you. Would there be any questions for Ms. Karagiannis? Councillor Hodgson, followed by Strangway.
Yes, welcome. I have, in reading your thing, I have a few questions here. What legal matters are you referring to?
Senior management being dismissed, manager of engineering, director of public works, the CAO, fire chief, the lawsuits from developers. That's what we're talking about.
I didn't realize that the CAO or the Director of Public Works were issuing lawsuits.
No, I'm talking about the series.
That's not a legal
matter.
Okay,
all right, okay.
And anyway, I have some more questions. In a way to solve this problem with the legal matters, do you expect Council to just roll over, or what are we supposed to do? We have to defend them, correct?
Yeah. Okay, no, what we're looking for, and this is our main suggestion, is stronger public relations. And the way that can happen is to get ahead of issues, to put out positive statements that can benefit the community. And it can't be from the mayor, it has to be from the council as a whole. So we're just looking for, let's put it this way, the Business Development Advisory Board, we are the eyes and the ears of business in the community. It's our responsibility to make their concerns known to you as council. And although, the inner circle may be contacting you and telling you, you're doing a great job, things are going great, but there's a whole community out there that you might not be hearing from. And this is what's rising up in our BDAB meetings, is this issue. So.
Councillor?
You mentioned negative impact. Do you think your presence here today provides a positive impact?
I do, because we're actually giving suggestion here. We're letting you know that there is an issue out there. There's a negative side of what's going on. There's no positive spin being put on this. There's nobody's getting ahead of the issues and putting out positive public relation messages.
Councillor?
Thank you.
Councillor Strangway.
I guess what I'm seeing, Brenda, I hear you, and I think it's something this council has talked about, is the idea that we need to tell the good stories, and there's lots of good stories going on as well. We also need to deal with the difficult ones, but I think in light of your presentation here, if you have any further suggestions and wanted to submit them, we'd be more than happy to look at them and address them, because we feel the same way you do. We do want to get that positive message out here. There are a number of things that happen in each one of these meetings, and there are all kinds of positive things we do, and yet we want to get that information out. Sometimes it's difficult. Thank you.
Thank you, Councillor. Councillor Villamere, followed by Elmsley.
Thank you. And Ms. Karagiannis, I appreciate that you might have felt the need to come to council today, but I'm wondering if you have discussed your concerns and your issues with economic development itself.
Ms. Karagiannis.
Yes, actually, Vince Germani sits on our board as well, the Business Development Advisory Board, so definitely we have discussed.
So correspondence has been sent to the manager and a copy of your concerns of economic development, or is this just a discussion at the table and perhaps we should do something? Because I don't recall seeing anything in any of the minutes of the board for the last little while over concerns.
Through your worship, Council, the discussion arose at the February 17 minutes of this year and the draft minutes of March, which haven't been sent to Council at this time.
Fine, but was anything then, through you, was anything then discussed with the manager of economic development over the concerns of the Development Advisory Board? Or is this just, we're going to get this out there and feed the fever with poor headlines, as opposed to trying to find a way to resolve this issue?
Ms. Karagiannis.
Our intent is not to feed the fever. Our intent is to bring this to your attention, to let you know that this is what's happening out there. We're a board of volunteers. We meet on a monthly basis, and you're aware of that. We're a committee of council. It's our duty to bring these issues to your attention, and this is what's rising to the top. So it's not, I'm not here willy-nilly. This is my first deputation before you as councillors, and trust me, I do not want to be here with this kind of a deputation. I would rather be here as a cheerleader saying, rah, 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 we're doing a great job, look at the economic development, we're doing fabulous. Unfortunately, there is a negative connotation that's happening in this community, and it needs to be addressed by whatever means you feel is necessary, but our suggestion is a public relations element. It has to happen.
And I appreciate that, and you've done a very good job for your first time. Trust me. What I'm concerned about, through you again, Your Worship, is somebody dropped the ball here, and I don't necessarily know that it was the board. The board had a concern. The concern was perhaps noted by staff, but it doesn't seem that anything went further than that. And now we're out here again with front page headlines. I'm sure it'll be a great business community tells council to clean up its act. We can't clean up our act without your help. So I need to see the positive and the avenue going through to through the business development manager.
And I think, with all due respect, you just gave the headline for tomorrow's paper in your
I know that.
speech. Yeah.
Thank you, Councillor. Councillor Elmsley, followed by Dunyo. And this is just a deputation, folks, so.
Yeah, this is like a...
Thank you, Your Worship, and through you, Ms. Karagiannis. Thank you for coming today, and thank you for having the gumption to say the things that you said, whether we agree with them or not, and whether they end up in the front page. Thank you for doing what you did, and for your volunteerism and sitting on the board and trying to make the city of Kawartha Lakes a better place. And Your Worship, I'll give you a motion to receive the deputation.
Thank you. Would there be a seconder? Seconded by Councillor Ashmore. Thank you. Councillor Dunn, followed by Yo.
Brenda, thanks very much for coming. We've changed our pattern here. We are a far more open council. We do our dirty wash in public, and it does bring criticism, but it does show us that we are trying to move to a more open type of government. To me, your comments are welcome. I sit on the BDAB. I was aware of what was coming down the pipe. I didn't see the draft letter until just recently, but I knew what was coming down the pipe. They asked my advice. I said, put it out there, because only when it's out there in the public will we deal with it. So I thank you. And it takes a lot of gumption to stand up there all by yourself. So thank you very much for coming. I think the councillors, most of them will take your comments to heart. It's not a negative comment, and maybe the next time we come back, we'll have some good news for you. Thank you.
Thank you. Councillor Yo, followed by Councillor James.
Thank you, Worship, and through you, I also would like to thank you for coming here today, and I think your timing couldn't be better, because not only is the press here today, but a lot of development communities here today. And what I see are problems that are new to this council. We all know they're here, but I think it's going to point towards the next time you come up here, it's going to say, look at the partnerships we formed with the development community and with the press to toot our horns and not dwell on the negative stuff that has happened in the past. So I hope the developers in the crowd and the press in the crowd will take that to heart and work with everybody together rather than continuously trying to separate the community. Let's bring it together for once. Thank you for coming today.
Thank you. Councillor James, followed by Love.
Thank you, Your Worship, and I want to echo the thoughts of the previous speaker. Thank you, very timely bringing this here to our attention today, and what you're seeing out there in the business community. We hear it too, and for the first time, I felt very, very positive about what's going on in our community and enjoy sharing that. Our mayor is our biggest ambassador, but being a member of the First Impressions Committee that did a First Impressions exchange, Councillor Yule was part of that committee with Pembroke, and that's what we found about the Pembroke community. When we drove in there, we weren't very impressed until we started talking to the residents. And after talking to the residents, the place had a different look. It was absolutely stunning. Everybody in that community was so proud of theirs. So the point that I want to make here is that it's not just council, the mayor, staff, business development. It's all of our residents, all of us together that can change this here. And when anybody speaks negatively about our community, we should address it immediately. So, again, thank you.